Howdy, all Molex Lives. I think it's time to play a little Some Just Die. Alright. Well, I was trying to think if I did anything this weekend. I don't think so. Played a bit of that V Rising game. That seems pretty good. Although I'm struggling against the current boss in that I'm trying to kill. I probably need to stop and take some time to make some supplies or something. Some healing potions or something. I kind of gotten sidetracked building a castle in it. V Rising, it's a vampire. I'm pretty sure I hear footsteps. Footsteps. Hey, buddy. It's top-down action RPG mixed with a survival game. But all the recipes, not all the recipes, but a lot of the recipes are locked behind boss kills, which makes it a bit more difficult to progress. Some of the recipes are just found in the world, and so you know, I've got a few upgrades, but I need some boss. I don't know which one dead to access like iron for the next big upgrade. And like I don't know. I find this kind of I find this kind of concept dumb to me. So I kill the bosses. Oh, got another. Hey. So kill the bosses, and you get the upgrades, right? And so one of the upgrades was I gotta remember if this is how it worked, but I'm pretty sure I got the upgrade for a servant's coffin. Whoa. Oh, geez. Got a little bit of a horde. But then I had to go kill a different boss to get the spell necessary to enthrall a person, to bring them back, to turn them into a servant, right? And so now I've got a servant, but now I need to get enough bosses killed to get to the iron upgrade and the glass upgrade, so that I can unlock the ability to actually control my servant. So it's at least 3, maybe 4 bosses. And so I find that nonsense. So many zombies. Ooh, that one was worth extra. Come on, guys. I just want to dig up this treasure and then go home. Oh. Oh, no. Now I'm hungry and thirsty. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. At least we got a bunch of clay, right? I did try to, it's been a long time since I watched Stranger Things, but I did try to burn my way through some Stranger Things. Because I haven't seen... I'm not sure I've seen Season 3 yet. And Season 4 just came out, so... I do want to watch that. Not that I didn't want to watch Season 3, but I was watching with other people, and then we just never made it there. And then I forgot about it. As I do. I know I was planning on finishing Into the Black, Pacific Rim Into the Black this weekend, and I didn't do that either. And then what did I do? What did I do with my free time today? Well, not my free time, but you know, oh, there we go. I play stuff in the background while I'm working, and I started watching Orville because I saw there was a new season of the Orville. Because that's what I need. Another show that I'm not gonna finish. Oh, come on, man. Pretty sure I hear another zombie walking this way. Most of that's not bad. I like lots of bullet stuff. No, apparently it's not a zombie. I think I think they're doing some cleaning, so I must be hearing that in the background. Okay. I don't need to go where that red mark is. I need to go this way. This way. Oh, well. Now I gotta go this way. You couldn't have done that while I was out there? You had to wait till I drove away. See how it is. I like the show Letterkenny, and to see they've got a new spin-off called Shoresy, which we watched an episode and a half of. Pretty funny. Also made it about two-thirds of the way through the final season of Ozark, finally. I say finally, I don't know. We were just... hadn't made it to season 4. We finally made it to season 4. It's been pretty good so far. All those are pretty good. I guess spoilers, so we can talk about Stranger Things, of course, is the one with the kid that uh, has psychic abilities, and the government has her trapped, and then she escapes, and then they tear a hole open into another world, and one of the local kids gets sucked up into it. And then Into the Black uh, is an animated spin-off from Pacific Rim. It takes place in Australia. It's weird to me that it takes place in Australia. Uh, that could be a good one, but I hear a zombie coming this way. Where you at? Oh, you're caught in a tree. It's not, like, it doesn't matter to me that this story takes place in Australia. That's not a big deal, but I read this book series that takes place in, like, Canada and stuff. And it just wrapped up the series, like 14 books or something. And so they have a new spin-off that takes place in Australia. Whereas at least Pacific Rim, right? Australia is part of the Pacific Rim. But it was just an interesting coincidence, I guess, when I meant. It's not weird. It's an interesting coincidence that both of those were spin-offs into Australia. Because I don't think the first Pacific Rim was... I mean, it was... I think part of it was near Australia, but part of it was in the United States as well. I think the other part was, like, Hong Kong, right? Which is pretty near Australia. And... but this other book series was all in, like, Canada and northern United States, pretty much. And then outer space. It moved into outer space. That was those dang lit RPGs I can't stop reading. The series I'm reading right now is really good for lit RPGs. Then the Ozark is the crime one where dude works for the cartel as a money launderer, a drug cartel from Mexico, and him and his buddy, tried to skim some money and got caught, so they were going to kill them all, and he quick talked them into letting him live, and then just all the hassles from trying to launder money. Although really it's all the hassles from his family just stirring up more and more trouble while he's trying to launder the money. We jokingly turn to each other constantly through the show and goes, he just wants to launder the money. Yeah. Yeah, lit RPG books are pretty fun. I've got Kindle Unlimited, and I bet I read a book every couple of days on that thing. And so here a couple of years ago, I found the lit RPG genre, which is most of the time it's like an isekai. People are pulled into another world that works like a game, and so then they gain like stat blocks and superpowered abilities and stuff. Most of them are like that. And so then, they'll go up levels and they'll get XP and they'll gain more powers as the series goes on. And I really, really like the one I'm reading right now. There was another series that got me started into it that I think is was at the time one of my favorites, but that author is pretty slow. And that's the other style of the lit RPG that I've read. So I guess there's three different styles that I've read of these lit RPGs. The first style is like an isekai. You get sucked into another world, and all right, let's see if we get pipe machine gun bundle. Oh, that's not exactly what I was after. Ranged mods bundle. Hmm. I mean, I guess we can use this. I guess this is like the iron version of what I like to use. Uh, but yeah, so um, I should take that money and go to the store and see what I can get. The my brain is like struggling here. So yeah, there's the isekai version where they get yanked into another world. There's the um, system version where they get a system is applied to Earth, uh, a game system basically, and it's usually called the system, the Great System, something like that. All the alien races are inside of this system, and then it finally gets applied to Earth, whether Earth gets turned into a dungeon world, or something like that. And then, all right, let me grab this money, and I'm gonna head over to the store and see what they've got for sale. And then, the third version is people are playing in an virtual reality MMO. Uh, and I enjoy all three of those. Um, it's been they've been pretty fun series in each of those. The first one that I read that I really liked was I haven't liked all of the books I've read in those. Some of them are like, I don't know about this one. But some of them are really good. And so the first one I read was I'm not gonna remember the names of the books. I want to say Ascendancy Online, maybe. And so people were playing the VR game, and I forgot to eat while I was at home. Oh well. And so they're playing this VR game, and so when you log in, it puts you in this world. Uh, and they didn't. The one guy didn't make it into the starter world because some kind of event happened that locked new players from starting in the starter city, and so they put him in a different starting location, and so he ended up. It's like every other kind of thing, right? The main character ends up with some super overpowered ability most of the time to start off with, and so he ended up saving a village from stuff that was happening, and when he saved the village, then he gets to build his own village, and then his friends eventually get there, and they start building a village with better laws than the country they're in, and then any of the raiders that show up or stuff like that. And so um, seed and supply. Gonna rob his bus for one nail.
Make it snappy. I gotta take a crap.
Good to know, buddy. Just information I definitely needed. Don't mind me just robbing your place. Um, so I really like that one. but the author in that one is slow compared to a lot of the other ones that I've been reading. And so the other day I saw that one of the series is on like book 11, and I'm like, I don't think I've read more than 6 books in that series, and I hadn't. It was book 6 was the last one that I had read, and it's also one of my favorites. Oh, I'm gonna buy this acid. Um, I know, buddy, you're hungry. I've got some stuff on me, and I'll take care of you in a second here. I just want to look through, see if there's anything important through here. So, um, the one I'm reading now is pretty good. It's an isekai style, and like I said, it's one of my favorites so far. And it okay. I don't want to waste money on that, but man, that's a good. I'm gonna get it because that's just important for me when I completely swap over. Because I like to have a scope on my gun. That looks like it though. What does this one do? No, that's not as cool. I'm wearing a suit. Yep. Okay, that's.
All right, now that we're done doing business, get out of my store.
Oh yeah, you got any jobs? Let's get a job here.
I'm gonna make you an offer. You better not fuck this up, or I'll cut you guys.
Wow, I don't want to work for this guy. He's awful. So uh, this one starts off with these soldiers, and they're mercenaries, and they're doing a job in I think he said Africa, protection job in Africa for a convoy or something, and they get attacked and they get blown up, and the main characters, one of the main characters, Eric, loses his arm and his leg, and then I don't remember what happened to his buddy, but his buddy didn't lose any bits, and so they end up going back to the United States, and then they get what they call the two week flu. And so what is happening is the other world is pulling in new players, basically, and it does it by giving them 2 weeks to get adjusted to having a stat thing, and okay, and abilities, and so they, being the military people that they are, um, they go ahead and figure out that they can. The one guy makes healing abilities and regrows his missing limbs, and then teaches the other guy how to do it, and then they put together um, equipment like guns and ammo and MREs and armor and all that kind of stuff. Um, and so then they end up jumping to this other world. Oh, that's so expensive. Let's just let's wander over to this window and see if this is a better way to get in here. And so when they get to the other world, they try to figure out what's going on, and the guy, they need money. They need game money. Well, not game. It's not a game. It's a completely different world. They need local currency, I guess is the better way to say it. And so the one guy figures he can use his healing spells to heal people. And so he starts healing people. And, well, the local healing guilds, they don't operate that way. You have to come to them and you have to pay them a large amount of money. And he is not, he's charging 2 coppers per heal because he believes that you should help people when you can. And so that's basically what they do is they start their own group that operates on the understand. Well, no, um, given that it's a book where people get you know it's it's a where is this thing? It's under the bed? Huh. So anyways, the oh no, I missed. Oh, I sprained my leg. So the healing guild sends people to poison him, and so they run out of town, and he is able to heal himself. And so then they decide to go somewhere else, and so when they get into the mountains, they see some high-level people in the mountains, and they try to hide from them, and they end up. I can't remember if they get. I think they get tokens for a dungeon trial, and so the high-level people are there for the dungeon trial, and so it's the 10 realms series, and so every realm is a different world basically. And so you start in the first realm, and then when you amass enough levels, level 10, then you go to world 2, right? And then on world 2, you gotta get to level 20, and then you go to world 3. And so, but it's really hard to get from the first floor to the second floor. There isn't enough power in the system of World 1 for most people to get out of World 1. Like if you're like a level 2 or level 3, you're doing really, really well on the first floor.
Welcome to Trader Joe. Congratulations. Here's your
Uh,
reward, sucker.
I appreciate you calling me a sucker.
If you want work from me, good luck. You better not make me regret this.
So, they end up going into the dungeon trial, and when they go through the dungeon trial, they eventually get teleported to a village. And when they're in the village, they have to protect the village. And so, no, I'm sorry. They have to survive the attack on the village. And so, because they want to help people, they opt to teach the villagers how to defend themselves and to reinforce like the walls around the village and stuff. And so, basically, they take a couple of weeks before the fight starts to turn the people in the village into fighters to fight back against the oncoming beast hordes, is what's happening, like wolves and stuff like that. And so, um, while they're prepping for that, the leader, the mayor of the town, gets a message that the lord of the village has decided not to send any troops to protect it, which nullifies his ownership of the village. And so now they have a village that doesn't have an owner, and they managed to save not everybody, but they saved most of the people. And so when they do that, um, they then win the trial, which most people don't do because they just survive it instead of. It says, there's weird stuff in here that shouldn't be in here. That shouldn't be in here. This shouldn't be in here. What do I put around my bruised? What goes on a sprain? Nothing. Okay. And so they get some tokens for a dungeon, and when they go to the dungeon, a different dungeon, that dungeon is actually the home base for um, what was some high level gnomes who were attempting to do some highly technical and dangerous things before they got wiped out by a raid. And so the interface for the dungeon is this. It turns out way later in the books, you find out that he's a wizard who was helping the gnomes and died. And so the gnomes resurrected him, but the only way they could bring him back was to tie him to the dungeon's core. And so he's the one who was setting up the trial that they entered into because he was looking for people who could be the new lords of the gnome dungeon, but he was looking for good people, and they were the first people to help the village that was picked for the trial. Everybody else just let the village that was picked get destroyed, and so yeah, so they ended up with this dungeon, which is what makes them overpowered, because the dungeon produces enough power and stuff like that. You know, mana cores is a thing, and so it produces lots of mana cores, and it produces. I guess I didn't need that. It produces. Uh, Food and raw resources and everything in the book has to do with how much mana is available in the area, and so it's got a higher concentration of mana than other places. Like the entire first floor probably has less mana. First, I say floor. The first world has a lower overall mana level than this dungeon's got, and so because of that, they're able to quickly uh, build up their uh, levels, and the people of the village opt to go with them, and so they start this whole new dungeon village. Apparently, in the books, it's not unheard of for a dungeon to be used like this. They just lucked out with one that was full of supplies and a sentient controller that could help them out. And so a lot of the books is them, figuring out how to adapt magic to their technology, and or vice versa, and just generally, trying to make the world a better place as they slowly take over. It got really interesting in the middle of the series so far. They, I think I'm on book 9 now. But they ended up going to floor 4, and when they got to floor 4, they got attacked, and they ended up having to use some of their adapted technologies to try and protect this group of people who they were working with. And when they did that, they ended up taking over a city on the fourth floor, and so it's pretty interesting as they work their rebuilding the city and everything, but uh, different guilds are working together, and um, and so if you're not the strongest, then you're prey, basically. And so uh, and so these really, really powerful guilds attack them, and actually ended up destroying the city, which I was shocked because it's not often you read a book series where the people get knocked back like that. Especially when they've spent like 3 books building up this city and then just got wiped out in a single fight. Uh, because, it's it's based off a kind of like a game system, and so um, when the city is on the level 30, right, floors, floor 4 would be people who are level 30, and and then people from floor 7 come down to attack you with airships, right? Uh, and massive like laser cannons based off of mana. Things don't go well for you, and so yeah, I'm really, really liking this series. It might be one of my favorite of these lit RPGs so far. It's called the Ten Realms. And then I was trying to think. So the System Apocalypse was the one that's got the spin-off in Australia, which I have not read yet. I'm going to. I've got the first book loaded on my Kindle. I just haven't got to it. And then I can't think of what the name of that other series is. There's another series I like where it's a VR world. And in that one, it's interesting because the AI is sentient that runs the system, and it's trying to save itself, and so it enlists the help of this kid, and it uses, because when people play, they go into like part of their brain is interfacing with the computer, and so the AI is using the interface. I don't know why I thought I was going to go to that cave. I need to go over here to this yellow thing. See a little exclamation point. And so while they're down in the game, the AI is using its interface with their brain to heal them in a lot of cases. And so, like if people have like hormonal imbalances, it can interact with the brain to make sure that the body starts producing the right hormones, or like one of the things that it does is if they like part of the system is that they don't want people to lay there and get bed sores or something like that, and so their bodies flex their muscles every once in a while to keep their body moving, and so it uses this to exercise their bodies and stuff like that. And uh, but in game is pretty cool. That's got what is that one? Awaken Online, I think, is that series. Um, and so the it's got a few different stories, but the main character or the first main character ended up going into the world and then got betrayed after he got in there, and ended up with a low-level necromancer spell that allowed him to make zombies, and but he can only control like 5 zombies, right? But the rules didn't say you couldn't make zombies. It was just that you couldn't control zombies. And so after he got I think he got beat up in the game and robbed and stuff like that. He ended up going to the one of the rich sections of the town he was in, and then he went into the houses and started killing people,
At least wipe that
like
down.
NPCs,
I'm gonna have to
and
now that you did it.
uh,
I'm gonna make you an
I
don't
don't know
waste
if I'm
that.
good enough to do one of those. Although I do have a gun, so usually that's my limit is to get the gun to do these. But um, maybe we'll try that next time. The and so what he did was instead of controlling the zombies, he just made the zombies, but he barred the doors. And so then after he had gone through the town killing all the people in their houses, people being NPCs in the game, not real people, not other players. So he filled basically the entire section of the town with zombies, but locked in their houses, and they weren't active because there was nothing for them to fight. And then he made some zombies that he controlled, and he sent those zombies to start opening all the doors. And then he lured all the zombies out and basically created a zombie horde. And so the AI decided to roll with it and made him the undead ruler of the city. And so that one's pretty cool because they have a few different people who rule cities. They're like the avatars of these AI who are trying to save themselves from being deleted. I rather enjoy that book series too. But all right, with that, I'm going to call it a day. So be better than small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.